Hello class, and welcome to week 1 of COMM 104. I'm going to be your instructor for this course. My name is Brian Ewing, and I'm excited about this class. I have to tell you that this class has been rebuilt from the ground up to really maximize what it means to learn to communicate. We go over things like stress management and time management. We do a lot of that stuff up front, whereas before we were doing that later on in the class. I'm glad that we're doing it up front now, so it allows for time for you guys to be able to find a lot of stuff out about yourselves to help you out in this class. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with a checklist of things that need to get done here in week 1. And as a reminder, week 1 is a shorter week. Week 1 only runs from Wednesday to Saturday, so make sure that you get on stuff pretty early this week. So let's check out the things that you guys need to do this week in this week's checklist. The first thing you'll do every single week in your checklist is you'll go through the week's lecture. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you can click on the button that says Weeks, and you can scroll all the way to the bottom, and it will say Week 1. Click on Week 1 and it will launch you into all the things you need to do this week. The very top of that, it'll be COMM 104 Week 1 Lecture. It's about a 9.5 page document that goes over some of the things that we'll be learning and focusing on this week. Next, you'll want to go through Week 1 discussion. Now, this week, the Week 1 discussion is very easy. It's an icebreaker where you're just going to introduce to us yourself. You're going to tell us some more about yourself, what you plan on doing with your degree, what your end game is there, maybe some hobbies that you have. Tell us a little bit about your family setup. If you even would like to attach a photo, that's fine too. And so make sure you post that in Week 1 discussions. And then finally for week 1, you're going to do an introductory documents quiz. And so you can click on that, it'll launch the quiz, and then you can get into the week 1 quiz. We're going to do that just about every single week. So as we begin this course, let me give you guys just a word of encouragement. This course is all about communication, and for many of you, you might be thinking about this going, yeah, I've been communicating for my whole life. I've been talking to people my whole life. I know how to communicate. Well, communication oftentimes is misunderstood as only what I'm saying, what I'm communicating. And really, it's more about knowing what I'm communicating and how it affects other people. How is the other side going to receive what it is that I'm communicating? Is my tone going to be a tone that they're going to find offensive, or do I seem aggressive when I talk about things? And then when we communicate only like online, like this class is going to be, how is it that we have to frame things in our writing to be very, very, very clear so those types of things aren't misconstrued? I'm sure that some of you have gotten text messages from someone that we assumed a certain tone, and it might have been another way. Maybe we got the impression that the other person was sarcastic or being angry with us when they really weren't. They were honestly asking a question or responding to what we had said. So communication isn't just about what it is that we're saying. It has a lot to do with how we understand how other people are going to receive what it is we're saying. Also, communication is about us receiving the information, and here's what I want to be. Have this be an encouragement for you. As you guys go through this course, you're going to learn stuff about your workplace. How is it that you communicate in your workplace? How is it that you communicate in academics, like in this course? And then how is it that you communicate in your personal life? Those 3 communications are a little bit different, but they have a lot of bleed over on things that are going to affect one and the other. And so when you're listening, being an active listener isn't just listening in order to respond. It's listening to understand. We really live in a culture that's saturated with social media, Facebook, Instagram. I mean, we have all these mediums by which communication occurs, but for most people who are out there communicating on these mediums, it's really a one-way conversation. They don't really consider how the other side might receive that. And most people, as they're receiving, aren't receiving to understand. They're simply receiving to respond. Let's not just receive to respond. Let's receive to understand. So communication is about not just what you say, but understanding how the person that you're saying it to is going to receive it. And it's also about, as we receive information and communication from other people, how is it that we are receiving it? Are we listening just to respond, or are we listening to understand? Because if we're listening just to respond, then oftentimes our response will be out of a lack of understanding. So I'm looking forward to this course. I'm looking forward to week 1, seeing what you guys have to write. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through either the Ask Your Instructor tab on the left-hand side of your screen, or just send me an email. Have a great day, guys.